Bonjour, je m'appelle Marcelo. Je suis le niche fragrance collector. Bit of French, and now we'll keep it all in English because my French is done. I love brands, or I'm enchanted by brands with these beautiful long histories. One that I have fallen in love is a French brand called Lubin. They are deeply connected to a lot of French history, to the Palace of Versailles, to Louis XVI, to Marie Antoinette. There's so many great stories behind this actual brand. If you want to know more, I did do a very deep dive into the original owner, Monsieur Farjon, and then the successive his apprentice, Pierre-François Lubin, who bought the business, yada yada. Have a look here. You'll get much more of an insight into the background of Lubin as a brand. Because of my love for the Lubin brand, when I was in Paris last year, I caught up with Gilles Thévenant, who is the owner of the brand today. What you see here is the apartment of Monsieur Farjon, who is the original perfumer for Marie Antoinette. If you'd like to meet Gilles and also be in Monsieur Farjon's apartment, you can. This September, we're doing a tour in France, discovering a number of beautiful French brands. I'll tell you more at the end of this video. Modern day perfumery was catapulted via the French court in Versailles. It was King Louis XIV who, because of I guess body odors, they also didn't want to shower and want to bath themselves. Again, have a look at that video that I created earlier on all things Lubin. They were very much into perfuming themselves, but with very heavy musks, civets, ambergris, a very heavy scent. It was then during Louis XVI's reign that perfumery had now come into its own. Montpellier, Grasse, two major cities which were completely dedicated to the extraction of oils. The technology that was coming out of those particular cities was unprecedented for their times. There's a concept called enfleurage. It basically means you have a wax tray, you place florals on there, the wax then extracts the oils, and now the perfumer was able to create whole new compositions. Monsieur Farjon knew that Marie Antoinette loved her garden. He created a fragrance just for her called Bouquet de Trianon. Later, in the 1930s, the same fragrance was renamed Jardin Secret, the secret garden. What's this about? The whole Versailles Palace area is enormous, and there was a section there which was the Trianon estate. Part of that estate was what was referred to as the Queen's Hamlet. I had an opportunity to actually visit this. This is before theme parks. A whole hamlet was created for Marie Antoinette so that she could get away from court life. Part of the hamlet was also a beautiful garden where she would enjoy florals such as rose, jasmine, things of that nature. Monsieur Farjon knew this and created this special floral fragrance for her, which again at the time would have been complete revolutionary compared to the fragrances that they were used to. The story takes us to the French Revolution, where finally the royal family are now under house arrest in the Tower prison. The governess of the Dauphin, Madame de Trouzel, went to visit the Queen. In her desire to do something special for the governess, she gave her the small black crystal bottle mounted in a châtain. Inside, according to Gilles, was a precious perfume. Gilles mentioned to me that in 1988, a friend of his, a countess, showed him this small black jade crystal vial that they considered as a lucky charm within their family. It belonged to her great-great-great-grandmother, who happened to be Madame de Trouzel, and she received this from Marie Antoinette herself. 15 years later, Gilles purchased Lubin. This story inspired him so much to rename Bouquet de Trianon, or Jardin Secret, to Black Jade, the very perfume that Monsieur Farjon created originally for Marie Antoinette. So let's experience this beautiful fragrance, which you would think, because it was designed for Marie Antoinette, that it would be a very female-leading fragrance. This I bought for me. To define it quickly, it's a spicy woody rose. And again, Monsieur Farjon wanted to celebrate the beautiful gardens that belonged to Marie Antoinette. In particular, rose and jasmine were the key components of this beautiful garden. In purchasing Lubin, Gilles obtained all the original formulas, both from Monsieur Farjon and also from Pierre-François Lubin. The only difference is that they have been slightly tweaked, always respecting the original formula, but to bring it into a modern day. Within the Lubin brand, bottles that look like this tend to be directed more to a woman. It's essentially the silhouette of a woman wearing a top hat Obviously here, the beautiful lid is that jade color. As I was preparing for this episode, my daughter Madison sprayed this fragrance, smelled it. I said, look, I'm planning to talk about this as a beautiful fragrance for a man to wear. Her response was, whoa, it's got to be a confident man. And I'm like, tell me more. Why do you feel that way? She mentioned the florals are very distinct. She sprayed on her skin. I've been wearing it today. It's interesting, on her, the rose and jasmine seem to be more pronounced, whereas on me, I'm finding that I'm getting a lot more of the spicy, woody elements. The rose is present. It is, I guess, a rosy fragrance, but I find that on my skin, I get more of the woody, spicy components, whereas on her skin, she was definitely getting a lot more of the florals. So can a man wear this? We do these meetups here in Melbourne at the Oillataguerre store, in which Kevin invites anybody to bring fragrances that they love. This is Elias. He is also a deep lover of all things Lubin. And he brought two fragrances, one a little bit more masculine leaning, but if you look there, that's Black Jade. And he mentioned, when he was sharing about the fragrances that he loves, he finds that Black Jade is the perfect floral fragrance for a man to wear. On opening, notes of galbanum and cardamom. In the heart, things like rose and jasmine, but also cinnamon. And then in the base, you'll find things like sandalwood, amber, tonka, patchouli. Find that all these notes really create a very well-balanced fragrance that a man can comfortably wear, but also, being that it has rose and jasmine, a woman can easily wear too. When this fragrance opens up, I find that it goes a spicy green. The cardamom really pops. There is that vibrance from that galbanum. Then it moves to more of a rosy bouquet. Finally, it settles down into a woody, spicy rose for me. For me, I'm still in that opening. The cardamom is definitely there. It almost has a milky kind of vibe. The greenness and the bergamot has come off that opening. The woodiness and that slight mustiness of the patchouli does give it a bit of a masculine edge. For a man who might not be overtly comfortable with florals in his fragrance, I do find that this is a great place to begin. The rose is present, but it's not dominant when it comes to the overall fragrance. This is a celebration of Marie Antoinette's secret garden. This is a beautiful celebration of the work that Monsieur Farjon first created for his queen. I find that for me, I get a comfortable 8 hours from this fragrance. And as I mentioned before, the evolution on this fragrance is spectacular. That's the thing that I love about niche perfumery. The way the fragrance moves, evolves, where it begins and where it ends are all different places. Its sillage and projection is also in that moderate to high category. When Maddie came into the office, the first thing she said is, whoa, that's a beautiful fragrance, which inspired her to actually try it herself. So gorgeous fragrance, great presence, beautiful projection, comfortable for a man, obviously easy for a woman to enjoy. If you want to immerse yourself in all things Lubin, meet Gilles in Mr. Farjon's original apartment and even shop in the 1798 boutique that was first established in Paris, then join me on this luxury 8-day tour. We'll be visiting Paris, Monaco, and Grasse. If you want to know more, you can email me directly or click on the link below that'll take you to the website. So, what's your favorite Lubin? Are you familiar with Black Jade? Do you know others in the collection? I'd love to know more. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you guys all on the next episode.